Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the other two of the Hiya Toys Injustice 2 figures. We have the Flash, and we have is it Supergirl? Yeah, Supergirl. I don't know. They keep changing the Superwoman, Supergirl. I don't know who it is. Anyway, you guys know Hiya sends these to me because I don't collect them myself. I don't enjoy these size figures, but a lot of you guys do, and they would rather me review them than not. And they don't pay me. I don't have to say anything about them. Honestly, I probably don't even have to review them, although that is what they want. Anyway, everything I say here is completely my own thoughts, just to be clear. So anyway, I already looked at a couple of the other ones. Who were they? Joker and Wonder Woman. Joker was pretty solid. Wonder Woman was kind of iffy. And we kind of had that situation going on again here. We have one that's actually in some ways exceptional and one that's in some ways exceptionally bad. So let's go ahead and get them off the stand and take a closer look. Alrighty, so we're going to do both of the figures in the one review, but we're going to do them kind of one at a time, kind of at the same time. We'll see how that goes. This one stands just about 3 3/4 inches, and then Flash stands a little bit taller. He is at 4 1/4 roughly, and just so you guys have some reference, because I know like right now it doesn't look necessarily that small. They do a good job of packing some details in there. Just to give you an idea, here is a Marvel Legends Deadpool figure. Alright, so now you have full understanding. This guy's about 6 1/4, 6.5 inches tall. Full understanding of how small these guys actually are. And I don't personally like small figures because there's just so much less you can do with them. But I have to say, Hiya does some things really well. And in this case, the only downside I have for this guy is his face is definitely still cartoonish. It's not ideal. But aesthetically speaking, just look at the proportions of this guy. That's a superhero build. We don't get figures that look like this almost ever anymore from almost any line, and I don't really understand why. It's very strange, and I've seen a lot of people commenting saying the same kind of thing. Why do none of the superheroes have V-shaped bodies? Why do they have small shoulders and skinny chests and derpy looking legs and big head? It doesn't make sense. I don't know. If nothing else is good about this figure, and there are other things, this Flash figure has wonderful, and they need to be commended, proportions. This is exactly how superheroes should be built. I love that Hiya got this right. The shoulders sit behind the neck, all of the shape of the body, the general shapes are excellent on this figure. I don't understand why this is so uncommon, but it warrants talking about since it is that uncommon. Now, like I said, these guys have struggled with their face paint jobs since the beginning, basically, and this one is no different. But the rest of the paint job is really nice. We have shading throughout. We have nice little detail work with the black lines and the gold lines. That's all sculpted as well. Just, again, very clean, especially given the scale. These guys have really nice paint jobs, really nice sculpts. The boots are well done. The ankle things, the head things, very nicely done. The face paint definitely could be better. Mostly just the eyes, but it's definitely something to consider. But all in all, the aesthetic on this guy is excellent, aside from the face being a little derpy. Very well executed. This paint job is far better than 95% of, like, let's say Marvel Legends or certainly DC Multiverse. So that's very nice. Combine that with the anatomy and the overall proportioning. This guy's aesthetics gets a 9. For sure, he gets a 9 for aesthetics. Now, on the other hand, this one looks very bad. I don't know what happened. Something got screwed up in their proportioning department because her upper body piece, her boobages, her chest, far smaller than they should be given the hourglass shape of a female. And it looks to me like the legs and everything line up. Even like if you just took this part off, if you just looked at that, you'd be like, well, that looks normal so far. And then it looks weird when you review the rest of it. Her head seems small and her chest seems small. It makes her arms look big and her lower body look big. Her proportioning is just a mess. And it's terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible proportioning. And somebody commented the other day saying, "Oh, you only like Hiya because they're giving them to you." Personally, I don't care if they give them to me. I don't collect these. And second of all, that's not true. I call everything the way it is. And so you can see here, her proportioning is rough. And so is her face. It's very cartoonish and not in a good way. It looks very weird. Chalky, chunky hair. Really unappealing overall. It's not good looking. That's not to say everything is not good looking. They did a great job with the paint on her suit. Very well done. The individual sculpted details are nice, like the wrinkles and things in the suit. That's all good. Her cape is acceptable. I mean, it's tiny, so you get the flat kind of Lego cape situation, but this gold on here is really nice. I'd like to see that kind of thing more often on bigger figures. That looks sweet. But the rest of the figure looks like butts. So her aesthetic gets like a 3 out of 10. That weird proportioning issue really tanks this figure, unfortunately. So that's not good. Now, as far as accessories go, we're just going to do them all at once-ish. So for Supergirl, we do have an alternate head, which honestly looks significantly better because the eyes are the heat vision eyes, so you can't see the pupils and it doesn't look so corny. So I actually like that head a lot. I think that might be a good alternative. We do also have a set of open hands to go with her fist hands that come out in the package. As for Flash, we have 4 lightning bolt effect pieces that can connect to his body in various ways, however you kind of want to do it. They're actually really nicely done, nice transparent yellow with a little bit of orange on there. And then we do have his karate chop / running hands, which would be replacements for his fist hands that come out in the package. So decent accessories, nothing crazy. We of course do each get a, display stand, which I don't like, but they all come with, so that's okay. So I'll give them overall a 7. I'll give them a 7 out of 10. Alternate head, effect parts. Yeah, that's fine. 7 out of 10. Okay, now for the articulation, we're going to go over Frumpy here, and then we'll take a look at the Flash. Now, her head is on a ball peg. It's fine. She can look up and down. Let me zoom in a little bit. We can move the head up and down a little bit. Not much. It does lean side to side a little bit, and you get your full rotation. These shoulder pads are semi-flexible, so they don't get in the way too much. You can still raise the arms pretty well. Rotation, of course, is going to be limited, but not terrible. I mean, that's just the nature of shoulder pads, so I'm not going to dock them too many points for that. The elbow joint is really ugly, and it's very limited, less than 90 degrees. I guess maybe you might be able to squeeze a little bit. Yeah, okay, so if you force it, you can get more than 90, or I guess just 90, more than it was. Still a really ugly joint. You do get a swivel out of it, but gross, lumpy elbow joint is gross and lumpy. Wrists are just your average basic ball peg, so you really just get a swivel out of that. Her diaphragm joint is really limited. Almost no range in any way, other than a little bit of rotation you're going to have to force. The leaning is very minimal. For the hips, you can bring them not all that far forward. They go about the same distance back. Out to the side is really good, surprisingly good. We get the splits, so that's good, I guess. It's just a ball peg, by the way, but there's no real issue. It's not loose or anything. Thigh swivel is fine. Double jointed knees are fine. Ankles have a hinge that goes pretty much all the way back and pretty far forward, and you get a decent ankle rocker, so that's surprisingly good. That's a really nice ankle. Rest of the figure, super mediocre. So I'm going to give her a 6, I guess, on articulation. Those ankles and hips are pretty nice, I guess. 6 seems fair. 6 isn't good. It's not bad, but it's not good. On to the Flash. Flash has one big downside to his articulation, which isn't a huge deal, but for the Flash it kind of matters because his arms don't go down to his sides any farther, so putting him in a running pose is somewhat limited. You can't get the arms in tight to the body as much as you would like, but of course if you lean him like this, twist his torso a little bit, you'll be able to get kind of a decent look going. It's not terrible, you see? That's okay. Definitely could be better, but I don't like the fact that his arms don't go down to the side. We'll just start off with that. The head, though, it does look up and down a little bit. Not a ton, but enough. Full rotation, of course, and a little bit of attitude. The shoulders go up horizontal, so that's nice. No bicep swivel that comes out of the elbow, which is just about 90 degrees, and there you get your swivel. Ball peg for the wrists again, very limited, just a swivel. His diaphragm joint is definitely better than hers. He can lean, not a ton, but enough. Side to side works nicely too, and you get your rotation, but you also get rotation down here. Not a ton, but you get another ball peg for his lower abdomen, and it does lean around. So you'll be able to pose this guy pretty well. Not a ton, but remember, this is only a 3¼ inch or 4¼ inch figure. So I think that's reasonable. Same type of joint for the hips, a little bit better going forward. Definitely would prefer more. And they don't go back very far, but going out to the side, they do go pretty far, and you get your thigh swivel. Again, double jointed knees, they go all the way, that's fine. And for the boot, it goes all the way back, and pretty far forward, and you get another solid enough ankle rocker. So his articulation is not as good as it could be, mostly just because I'd like to bring the hips a little bit farther up, but he is still a really solid release. He's one of the best, if not the best, DC figures from this Injustice line from Hiya. It's a really nice release for them. I'm gonna give his articulation a 7. The shoulders definitely could be better, but other things are good enough for sure. So now it's time for a final verdict. I'm gonna give Flash, his final verdict is going to be, I'm gonna give him an 8. I love the sculpt. I love the proportioning. If his face was better, I could live with the limited articulation. His face is definitely janky, but I love, why don't we get more figures that are actually built like superheroes? Does anybody, like, are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? The thighs are slightly bigger than the lower legs, like the V-shaped torso. I love it. I love it. And we don't get this look anywhere near enough. He doesn't have an extremely long neck. We normally see that on our superheroes. I love the proportioning on this guy. It looks like a little person just standing there. It's great. So yeah, he gets an 8. I really like him a bunch. And this one gets a 6. It's really not good. Don't buy it. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, well, okay. And if you haven't subscribed, you probably should. I have new videos up just about every single day and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.